HOA Karen bullied my kid at the bus stop. She froze when she learned I'm police chief. The morning air was crisp, the kind that stings your cheeks and makes you pull your jacket tighter. At the bus stop on Maple Street, kids shuffled in their usual clusters, backpacks slung over shoulders, breath fogging in the chill. My son, Ethan, stood apart, his eyes fixed on the cracked sidewalk. At 14, he was quiet, the kind of kid who'd rather sketch in his notebook than throw a punch. But today, his shoulders slumped heavier than usual. I watched from my car, parked across the street, my coffee growing cold in my hand. Something was wrong. Then I saw her, Karen Whitaker, the neighborhood's self-appointed queen. Her blonde hair was teased high, her lips pursed in that familiar sneer. She was leaning toward Ethan, her voice sharp enough to cut through the morning chatter. "You think you're special, don't you? Little weirdo, always drawing your creepy pictures." The other kids snickered, egged on by her venom. Ethan's face burned red, but he didn't look up. My grip tightened on the steering wheel. Karen wasn't done. "Maybe if your mom wasn't so busy playing cop, she'd teach you how to act normal." That was it. I stepped out of the car, my boots hitting the pavement with purpose. The badge on my belt felt heavier than ever. As I crossed the street, the kids fell silent, their eyes darting between me and Karen. She didn't notice me yet, too busy jabbing a manicured finger at Ethan. "You're a nobody, kid. Keep your head down, or I'll make sure everyone knows it." "Karen," I said, my voice low but steady. She froze mid-sentence, her head snapping toward me. The smugness drained from her face when she saw me, Chief Laura Bennett, in the flesh. The crowd stirred, whispers rippling like wildfire. Karen's mouth opened, then closed, her confidence crumbling like cheap plaster. "You've got a problem with my son?" I asked, stepping closer. Ethan looked up, his eyes wide with a mix of relief and fear. Karen stammered, her usual bravado replaced by a nervous laugh. "Oh, Laura, I didn't know you were. I was just joking. You know how kids are." "Joking?" I said, my voice cutting through her excuse. "You call humiliating a 14-year-old a joke?" The air grew thick, the onlookers shifting uncomfortably. Karen's eyes darted to the crowd, searching for allies, but none stepped forward. She'd ruled this neighborhood with her petty tyranny for years, gossiping about single moms, shaming kids who didn't fit her mold. But now she was cornered. Then, a voice broke the tension. "She's been doing this for months, Chief." It was Mrs. Carter, the quiet widow from down the street, stepping forward with a tremble in her voice. Her unexpected courage stunned me. She clutched her shawl, her eyes fierce. "Karen's been picking on Ethan, calling him names, spreading lies about your family. She even told my grandson he's trash because his mom's on welfare." The crowd gasped, the truth spilling out like a dam breaking. Mrs. Carter wasn't just a bystander, she was a witness. A twist in the narrative no one saw coming. Karen's face paled. "That's not true," she snapped, but her voice cracked. The kids were nodding now, their fear of her fading. Ethan's sketchbook, clutched tightly in his hands, suddenly felt like evidence. I turned to him. "Show me," I said softly. He hesitated, then opened it to a page of dark, swirling drawings, his way of processing the pain. The crowd leaned in, murmuring. Karen's name was scrawled in the margins, surrounded by jagged lines of anger. "You're done here, Karen," I said, my voice steady but burning with fury. "You don't get to terrorize kids and call it a personality." Her eyes filled with tears, but they weren't for Ethan or the others she'd hurt. They were for herself, for the power she was losing. The bus pulled up, its brakes squealing, and the kids shuffled on, leaving Karen alone on the sidewalk. She didn't move, her face a mask of shock and shame. That night, Ethan sat at the kitchen table, sketching again. "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked, my heart aching. He shrugged, his pencil pausing. "Didn't think anyone would believe me. She's Karen." I reached for his hand, promising myself I'd be more present, badge or no badge. But the victory felt hollow. Karen's cruelty had left scars, not just on Ethan but on the whole neighborhood. And Mrs. Carter's revelation lingered. How many others had suffered in silence? The next day, the story spread. Karen's reign was over, but the damage wasn't. Ethan's drawings became a quiet rebellion, shared among the kids, a symbol of standing up. Yet I couldn't shake the bitterness. I'd won as a cop, but as a mom, I'd missed the signs. The bus stop, once a mundane corner of our lives, had become a battlefield of truth and pain. What do you think? Where does justice end and healing begin in a community torn by bullying?